Guys, today we're going to do 8.9, which is the surface area of pyramids and cones. And the thing to remember when it's pyramids and cones is that the base shape is always opposite the point. Okay, so let's talk about some vocabulary real quick first. So when we're looking at this in our formulas, we've got a new little letter here, this letter L. That is referring to the slant height, which is the height down the side of the pyramid. So the L is the slant height. Okay. Now these other letters, the P, we talked about that in 8.8. That's the perimeter of the base shape. And then we have the capital B, which is the area of the base. These are all ones we have dealt with the entire time. Okay. So our formulas are going to be the lateral area, which is 1/2, which you could use 0.5, which I'll probably do, or you could divide by 2. And then the total surface area is the half LP plus B. What you need to remember is this is the lateral area, so I'm probably going to write this as LA plus B. And then we'll plug in there so you understand that you're doing the lateral area plus the base. And there's only one base here because it comes to a point. All right, here we go. So now let's work the problem. Well, first thing we do is we're going to go through and we're going to label what these numbers represent. Well, first off, we're going to label what's the base. So I'm going to kind of say this shape right here is opposite the point. So this is my base. That means that, okay, these are the same. So that's a square, which means it would be the same as if that looks like a 6. We could say this is the base and this is the height. Either way, you can work it either way. Okay, it really doesn't matter whether you treat it as a square or as a rectangle, you'll still get the same answer. What we need to make sure we understand is that this right here is my slant height, because that is the distance down the side of the triangle. Okay, that is the slant height. Okay, now we can start doing our calculations. Remember, the first thing we're doing, we are figuring out the surface area. So that means I'm going to be doing the base plus the lateral area. You know me, I like to change colors. So here we go. Step 1 is finding the base, the capital B, the area of the base. I'm saying it's not finding the base, it's finding the area of the base, which for us is going to be base times height, or you could do S squared. Either one is appropriate. So we would have 6 squared, which means the capital B is 36. And this is the same as 6 times 6. Now we move on to the second part. And this is the new part. This is the lateral area, which is the 0.5. Remember over here, I said I would use 0.5. That's just because I won't have to deal with a lot of fractions and it'll fit nicer for my work. So we have 0.5 times L times P. Remember, L is the slant height, so I'm going to have 0.5 times 9.5, and now I have to find the perimeter of the base. Well, this is going to be 6 on all sides. There's a 6 here, so this is going to be a 6 here. There's a 6 on this side, so this is going to be a 6 over here. So there's 4 6s. So I can easily write this as 4 times 6, or I could write 6 plus 6 plus 6 plus 6. It's your choice. Now I'm going to multiply these two, and I'm going to multiply these two. Where's my handy dandy calculator? Times 9.5. So this is 4.75 times 24. I can do that math in my head. So now I'll multiply that times 24. And yes, you have to write every step like I talked about in the last video as well. So the lateral area is 114. Oh, thing I didn't add. We're finding both. So you find the total surface area and the lateral area. So you have to find both. Okay. So this is 114 meters squared. Got that answer already taken care of. And now we go and plug in the information. So we have 36 plus 114. And that gives me my total surface area of 150 meters squared. There we go. Moving right along. My colors situated here. We're going to move down to number 4, which of course, that's where we're looking at the base shape being something different. Here's my point of the pyramid, okay? My base shape is this triangle down here at the bottom that's opposite the point. Okay, the base is always opposite the point. So now I'm going to go through and label the numbers as to what they are. Well, this is down the side right here. So this is going to be L. Now, this base is a triangle, so I need the base and height for the triangle. Well, remember, the base and height are always denoted by the right angle symbol. So here's my base. Here's my height of the triangle. This is the height of the triangle, okay? And now we go about finding it. So we have the surface area is found by capital B plus LH. And step 1 is finding the capital B, which is the area of the base. And that is by doing base times height divided by 2, or I could do the 0.5 base times height, whichever is your choice. So we're going to have 9 times 7.5 divided by 2. So I can do the 9 divided by 2 right here to make this 4.5. And then I can do 4.5 times 7.5, which gives me that my capital B is equal to 33.75. Or I could do the 9 times 7.5 and then divide by 2. There's multiple ways to work this, but if you do this division, you've got to show this. That's the step, but you're keeping it all in one spot, and that's okay. All right, now we find the lateral. So step 2, we find the lateral area, which is 0.5 LP. So I have 0.5 times my slant height is 6.5 times the perimeter, which, this happens to be an equilateral triangle, 9, 9, 9. So there's 3 9s. So I can do 3 times 9. Now, just for grins, this is also an equilateral. They're not always equilateral. Just understand that. They're not going to always be equilateral. Here we go. So now we simplify. So I have 0.5 times 6.5, which gives me 3.25 times 27, which gives me that my lateral area is 87.75 feet squared. Found my first answer. Now we take these numbers and we plug them in. So I'm going to have 33.75 plus 87.75, which gives me that my total surface area is 121.5 feet squared. There we go. Now we don't one that's a triangle. And we're going to move right along. Oops. My colors all situated. Okay, so we're going to flip this page over. And now we're talking about cones. And when we have cones, our base is the circle. Okay, so we've got the radius. So the side of the cone is the L, just like the side length on the pyramid. And then you have the height of the cone. All right, so for our lateral, we do pi r L. And then our formula is pi r squared plus pi r L. There we go. So we just plug into our formulas, but we're doing the base times the lateral. So here we go. So the surface area is going to be found by doing the base plus the lateral area. So for number one, to find the area of the base, which is pi r squared, and yes, you have to write your formulas. Do not plug in pi until the absolute last end, the very end of the problem. Okay, so we have pi times, and our radius is, oh, we label the figure first. This is r, the radius, and this is L, my slant height. Okay, so we have 4 squared. So this is going to give me 16 pi. That's what my base is. And now I'm going to do step 2, which is the lateral area, which is pi r L. So I'm going to have pi times 4 times 13. Times 13, and we always write the number in front of pi, so we have 52 pi. So this is what the lateral area is. This is what I'm going to plug in, but I have to find, again, I didn't write it, but we are finding the total surface area, jumping ahead to just working, and the lateral area. You have to find both. You know, there's erasers for a reason on those pens. Okay, here we go. So now I'm going to do 52 times the 3.14 because I have to find what the actual lateral area is, because that's one of my questions. So the lateral area is 523.14 centimeters squared. Now, remember, we're just going to use this number to plug in here. And I'm going to use this number to plug in here. So I'm going to have 16 pi plus 52 pi. And because they both have a pi symbol, then that means they are like terms. So I add the coefficients, which gives me 68 pi, because sometimes they ask you to leave the answer in terms of pi, and that would be this answer. And now we're going to plug in the 3.14. It wants me to round to the nearest tenth. Remember that. Times 3.14, which gives me that my total surface area is 213.5 centimeters squared. Oh, this one right here is not supposed to be at the 4. It's supposed to be just 0.1 because we are rounding to the tenths place. Okay, but look at number 9. The only difference between numbers, not number 9, sorry, number 8, number 7 and 8 is the fact that it gives you the diameter, which means I have to divide by 2 to get the radius of 9. That's the only thing different. And then you work it the exact same way. All right, moving on to number 11. Okay, it says Isaac is making a cone-shaped party hat. Okay, so that's going to kind of look like this. I'm going to draw me a picture. I have to have a picture to help. So I draw a circle, and then I'll take a point from each side, and there we go. It doesn't have to be perfect. There's my cone hat. Okay. Out of a paper bag. If he wants that hat to be 7.5 inches tall, okay, 7.5 inches tall. So this is 7.5. And have a diameter of 8. So that means that's all the way across. So this is making a right angle. So that is 8. How much material will he need to make the hat? This problem just a second. So for this problem, it's not giving you a certain piece of information, but it's expecting you to use a process that we have not learned yet. And I will make sure that those types of problems you will not have on any assessment. It's wanting to use the Pythagorean theorem to find this side length. Okay, but I'm going to give you that. The slant height is 8.5. So the slant height is 8.5 because that's what we need to calculate. Now, if it's a hat, is it going to have a bottom? No. So I'm not finding total surface area here. I am finding lateral surface area. So therefore, I'm going to go look at my formula chart and I'm going to see how do I find lateral. That's just pi RL. So I write down my formula. Well, right now we were told that the 8 is the diameter. I need the radius. So I have to divide by 2. So my radius is going to be 4. So I'm going to have pi times 4 times 8.5. So I'm going to have 4 times 8.5. Which gives me 34 pi, and then I have 34 times 3.14, which gives me that my lateral area is 106.76. Well, for all of this stuff, it's been wanting me to round to the 10th place. So for this one, the amount of, because we want to know how much material will be needed, and we're dealing with inches. So we will say that we need 106.8 inches squared because we're doing area. This is the amount that is needed for this problem. Okay, you try the rest of the problems. Have a great day.